Back on, Gertie Rude. Back again, that Saturday mood. Well, here we are. It's been Saturday all day and we're still here. So, it's absolutely bleeding freezing where I am. I don't know where you are, but if you're in Britain, put your bleeding heating on, because we need it on, don't we? We'll worry about the money later, I think. That's what we should do. So, I'm going to have a look at this. National Child Abuse Inquiry was a cover-up, says whistleblower Maggie Oliver. Now, if you look in my back catalogue, I've been talking about this on and off since I've been on here since October 21. I know I said 22 the other day, but I've got no memory. No, it was 21. And I love Maggie Oliver. There's certain people that were trying to make a lot of money out of having a foundation and being a whistleblower for child abuse that have got no credibility, in my opinion. But I've always had a great amount of respect for Maggie Oliver. And what's coming out now is what's been going on for years. Everyone's known it's been going on. It's been covered up. Blah-de-bleeding blah. If I said what I really thought, I'd probably get the video taken down. So, shall we jump in and see what's going on?
So, it's all right calling for a public inquiry, but the thing is, I don't trust any of them to be entrusted with that public inquiry, because if you don't have the right people who want to see
No, because we had that one of the International Court of Natural Justice bullshit, didn't we, that cost £10 million. And they took up a lot of time having people on there that were paid to go on there that just talk waffle. Certain people that were policemen and retired with their pension before they then decided to talk out. No credibility as far as I'm concerned. People like that don't care and couldn't understand what that particular person was doing on there, and he seemed to be on there for a fortnight waffling. I think there was people put on there to manage the narrative, let's say. So the people that really were trying to talk truth to power, like Maggie Oliver and certain other people, it was just brushed under the carpet. Was it that Geoffrey Dickens as well, that MP? Big lad, wasn't he? Yeah, I don't think he's with us anymore, but I think he spoke out about something. Oh no, that was something different. But it was basically the exploitation of minors in our country.
You can spend another 5 years wasting your breath in the way that I have on the Ixter inquiry, the Rochdale inquiry, the Augusta inquiry, the Baird review.
Yeah, I know, darling. The thing is, because I've done a lot. If you look at my back catalogue, when I'm being sensible, I've done a lot of stuff to do with this subject. And because of that, I've read a lot of the details, and it makes the Saw movie franchise look pretty tame. Some of the stuff was just... And they use words such as grooming and sleeping, yeah, when neither of those adjectives are the pertinent words that need to be used. And obviously I'm too small to say the real words, I'll get into trouble. But you can imagine the real words weren't sleeping or grooming. So it's been an ongoing problem for many, many years, and people that have spoken out about it are just called names. To me, personally, I'm a big one for watching the predator gangs and everything in the UK, and you see a multitude of basically men and sometimes women that are pulled by the predator hunters for behaving immorally online and for trying to entrap minors, say, online. And, obviously this sort of behaviour goes across ethnicities. It hasn't got an ethnicity, hasn't got a class, it hasn't got a religion. It's all out there. But the one particular thing that has been covered up, and it's been covered up by middle-class, white elites, as far as I can tell, it's my opinion, that were too scared to say anything, because if they did, they were scared of being called a name. And also, the very virtue of white middle-class people have always, if you look at the class system in Britain, they've always sort of been spawned to their natural habitat is sat in the middle, deriding anybody above them and just smirking at people below them. So even though they talk all this, they don't walk it, but they talk all, oh yeah, we're all equal, this, that. No. If it wasn't for poor, white, working class people, the middle classes would have no one to look down on, would they?
We get recommendations and we get words and we see no action, and we see repeats of the same failures time and time again. And what I want to see is real people who, I'm a spokesperson for the millions and millions of decent, ordinary people throughout this country who look at children and know...
Yeah, good. Good for you, GMP. Is that Greater Manchester Police? Right, now I've had some dealings with Greater Manchester Police in my sort of working past life. And some of the ladies there are magnificent, you know. Yeah, amazing police force. Probably like every other police force, you get your stories and everything you go into because you get a load of guys together. Shit goes, doesn't it? But the ones I've met were absolutely amazing people. I can't it's the first time I've realised that she was with the Greater Manchester Police. I thought she was somewhere like Rochdale, but is that in the middle of the country? Does that come under Manchester? That's how thick I am, honestly. I don't go any further than North London, you know, without getting a nosebleed. No, I have been up there. But yeah, no, Greater Manchester Police, they're cool. They're usually pretty cool. So maybe something was coming up from above them that was saying you can't talk about this. Maybe. It's my opinion. I don't know.
We as a society should be protecting those children, whatever it takes.
Of course you should. Of course you should. Of course you should. Exactly. It's like saying, oh, we're not going to investigate that murder, you know, because they might be Buddhist. We mustn't say anything. They might be Scientologists, you know. It's ridiculous. A crime is a crime is a crime is a crime. And nobody is an ist or an ism for reporting a crime. And I can't because I'll get into trouble if I start relaying some of the stories. But it's all out there if you Google it. Actually don't, because it's really harrowing. I mean, it was going on when I was young. And that was back, I think it was just after the second ice age when it started thawing. That's when I was young. And it was going along then. But it wasn't going on in this ethnicity. It was going on in a prevalent other ethnicity that were newcomers into the country, and for whatever reason, this was going on. And then in the 90s, I was also associated with, the child protection areas, and it was going on in people that had come over from, say, the Balkans. So it seems to be a thing, doesn't it? And I think a lot of the time, there's well-meaning people trying to do their jobs, but they're sort of hitting a glass ceiling where they're saying, you don't go any further. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I should do a video on Rumble or somewhere where I can get away with it. Anyway, let's press on.
Many victims today in my charity, the Maggie Oliver Foundation, we are inundated with desperate victims of all kinds of sexual crime who are waiting for a trial, who are waiting for maybe a prosecution that never comes. No. And they can wait 2, 3, 4 years for that trial. And yet we see people who say something on social media now, you know, arrested and put before the courts in 3 days.
It's bonkers as well. Because obviously these are children. They're not even de facto children. They are literally children. And they're plied with substances, say. So then I suppose a nefarious defence lawyer could argue that they don't know what they're talking about, maybe. So it sort of goes round in circles and nothing ever gets solved. Obviously what's happening is the people that run the gaff are getting into positions of power, and they're probably mingling and singling, or singling and mingling like they all do at all the best clubs and all the best places, and mixing with people who were, say, historically more likely to be in positions of power in their area. So the newcomers are being feted vociferously, because, as I say, what I've already said about the middle classes, and rather than seeing anything wrong, they just don't want to rock the boat. Do you get me? They're all in the same club. Let's not rock the boat. I don't want anybody to call me a rude name. Anyway, let's move on.
Sent to prison for 3 years. We've got things upside down, and I feel a great responsibility to use the knowledge I've gained in 20 years, David, to try and push this forward. And to be honest, I am relieved that we have Elon Musk and other people in other countries who are as horrified by these failures as I still am.
Well, of course it is, and it's really good, but I'm wondering why they've got this out, because every so often it comes out and they flog it around a bit, and you wonder why they've got it out yet again, and it will go away with nothing being resolved. What's going on that they're now putting this under our nose? Sort of, let's all be horrified, let's be horrified. Well, we've been horrified for the last 20 years. And nothing's happened. We were just called names. We were called far this or far that. Even though the far that they were trying to call us was trying to align us with a far person that was actually a bleeding socialist. And they're very good at the old propaganda, aren't they? Not calling a... Well, they wouldn't call a spade. They'd call it a implement used to remove earth, wouldn't they? Rather than... You know what I'm saying. So... There's been a lot of kicking the can down the road, hasn't there, and obfuscation, and as long as we can all just get by and just get through this voting next election, I'm coming up for the council, oh, I'm going to be the mayor, oh, I might get voted out, I just better shut up. It's all that, and it needs to stop. A crime is a crime is a crime. And I think that's all I've got to say, to be honest. I did see Martin Daubney yesterday. I don't very often watch Talk TV per se, depends what the subjects are. Poor old Martin Daubney, do you know him? Martin Daubney, Talk TV? He burst into tears, or was it GB News? No, I'm pretty sure it's Talk TV, but I might be wrong. Yeah, he burst into tears, because when you actually get down to the nitty gritty, it's absolutely, and I don't want to say that word, absolutely, totally, mind-blowingly, dementedly, ridiculous. I don't think there's another adjective I could use that would appropriately describe what's been going on, with the sort of tacit consent of the elites and people in authority and people whose jobs it was to actually prevent this or ameliorate it or take it to court, and just shut up so they can pay their mortgages. So anyway, I love you and leave you, and with that, good old Maggie, bless her, and let's keep the pressure up, let's keep the old thumb screws on, because this needs to stop. Bye bye now. I've got to do this. Love you and leave you. Have a great weekend. Bye.